What is up, guys? Welcome to another Speed Duel update. Wanted to give you a rundown of my second place Speed Duel tournament from about a week ago. So this is a little late, but we got the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sneak Peek going on this weekend. So I figured this would be a good time to kind of run over what I have been playing in Speed Duels. We're using the My Skill Tribal Synergy. And this skill basically allows you to draw cards. You get to use each one once per duel. If you have an Amazoness and a Harpy in your hand, you reveal them and draw a card. And then if you have an Amazoness and a Harpy on the board, you can then draw two cards. So it's a good way to like recoup advantage. There's not a lot of good draw power in speed duels right now. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of those games that is based on advantage and what you can draw. We started off with two copies of Chainmaster. She's pretty good against a lot of like heavy dragon decks. If your format is, if your locals is filled with a lot of dragons, if they attack her and get rid of her, plucking up blue eyes from their hand can be pretty detrimental. She's basically an Amazoness. It's another name, so she counts towards that Heartbeat skill, the Tribal Synergy skill that's there. Two copies of Sage. This is one of your ways of spell and trap removal. Speed duel format currently, there is not a lot of spell and trap removal. So this is one of your main ways to kind of like get rid of opposing back row. It's really good in the mirror match. We got a couple of cards in the side deck that also help out in the mirror match. Staple of 3 Amazoness Swordswoman. She's just your blowout monster against blow up blue eyes, the mirror, anything that likes to summon big guys. You can protect her with a card and kind of like take the advantage from her. The only Harpy Lady we play is Harpy Lady 3. I like this one just because of the effect more than anything. Whenever it battles a monster, that particular card cannot declare an attack during the opponent's next 2 turns. So that comes in handy with some other cards that we have here. Amazon's Heirloom, probably the best card in the set. You can only equip it to Amazon's monsters, and then that particular card cannot be destroyed by battle. And after damage calculation, if the equipped monster attacks the monster, you can destroy that particular target that you attacked. So if you attack like a defense position, Blue Eyes White Dragon, for example, it gets destroyed at the end of damage calculation. 2 copies of Amazoness Village. I don't like drawing this card. It comes in really handy in the mirror match when you kill like an opponent's Amazoness, or if you find that your Amazons are getting destroyed. But I don't want to like see it in my opening hand. It's like something that I want to draw into, because having multiple copies in my hand is kind of dead. The field spell tends to sit there for a bit. Most games you're more worried about the opposing spell and traps that your opponent has, as opposed to a field spell. 2 copies of Kunai with Chain, one of the best battle traps in the game. Gives you guys +5, switches the target to defense position. We tech in a copy of Wild Tornado. Most people will opt to side this. I use it as a form of spell and trap removal. Again, the game is the current format's really not full of a lot of options to get rid of opponents' spell and traps. This one only targets one face-up card, though, which helps in the mirror match, especially if you're trying to get rid of opposing Amazoness Heirlooms. So that comes in pretty handy. Pretty much one of the most staple traps in the game. Windstorm of Adequa changes the battle position of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. So if they have like a bunch of swarm monsters, you can switch them all to defense, attack them with a card Amazoness that's equipped with Heirloom, and you kill their monsters. Side deck, Half Shut. 2 copies of Half Shut. Really good blowout in the Blue Eyes matchup there. Kind of not that great in the mirror, in my opinion. 2 copies of Magic Jammer. Magic Jammer is really good against the Blue Eyes matchup. You can stop Flute. It's also really good in the mirror, because then you can stop stuff like Amazon's Heirloom. A very important card in the mirror match. The last spot, since there's only 5 cards in the side deck, it's a little bit of a flex spot. It depends on what you want to feel. I tend to float between the 2. I've wound up using Twister a lot more, as opposed to 7 Tools of the Bandit. Really just depends on what you feel your meta is divergent to. So that's it. That's my second place Amazoness deck. Only lost to Sinister Gabe in the finals. So shout outs to him. Amazoness mirror match, very good Amazoness player. And we'll be back with some more Speed Duels content after the weekend.